George Edward Foreman was born on January 10, 1949, in Marshall, Texas. Raised in a poor neighborhood, Foreman faced many early struggles, including a turbulent home life. He dropped out of high school at 15 and, like many young people in his situation, found himself involved in trouble. He was a troubled youth, with issues involving juvenile delinquency and run-ins with the law. However, at the age of 15, Foreman turned his life around after being introduced to boxing through the Job Corps program in California, which aimed to provide young people with a path away from crime. Boxing became a way for him to channel his anger and frustration into something productive. Under the guidance of trainer and mentor, Doc Broadus, Foreman rapidly developed into a force in the amateur boxing circuit. By 1968, Foreman won a gold medal in the heavyweight division at the Summer Olympics in Mexico City, signaling the start of his impressive boxing career. His victory helped him realize his full potential and gave him a platform to transition into professional boxing. In 1969, Foreman turned professional and began his journey toward becoming one of the most dominant boxers in history. Rise to prominence and heavyweight champion Foreman quickly established himself as one of boxing's most feared heavyweights, known for his raw power and aggressive style. He went undefeated in his first 40 fights, gaining a reputation for his devastating knockout punches. By 1973, Foreman earned his first major title shot against then heavyweight champion Joe Frazier. On January 22, 1973, in a highly anticipated fight, Foreman shocked the boxing world by knocking out Frazier in 2 rounds to capture the World Heavyweight Championship. His dominance in the ring was unmatched, and his brutal knockout power made him one of the most dangerous boxers of his era. Foreman's peak years as a heavyweight champion were marked by his ruthless and intimidating performances. He defended his title successfully, defeating top contenders such as Ken Norton and Joe Frazier. Foreman's fighting style was simple yet effective, relying on sheer strength, stamina, and aggression to wear down his opponents. His imposing physical stature and ability to end fights quickly made him an icon in the sport. In 1974, Foreman faced one of the biggest challenges of his career, the legendary Muhammad Ali. This bout, known as the Rumble in the Jungle, was held in Kinshasa, Zaire, on October 30, 1974. Despite being the favorite, Foreman was outsmarted and outlasted by Ali in one of boxing's greatest upsets. Ali, using his famous rope-a-dope strategy, allowed Foreman to tire himself out and then knocked him out in the 8th round to reclaim the heavyweight title. The fall from glory and retirement. After the loss to Ali, Foreman struggled to regain his previous form. His confidence was shaken, and he lost his drive for boxing. In 1977, at the age of 28, Foreman made the surprising decision to retire from boxing. During his time away from the sport, Foreman became a born-again Christian and dedicated much of his life to religious activities, including missionary work. For nearly a decade, Foreman stayed out of the boxing ring, focusing on his spiritual journey and family life. He also ventured into business, most notably endorsing the George Foreman Grill, which became a massive commercial success. Despite his peaceful new life, Foreman's competitive nature remained, and he soon became interested in making a comeback. The comeback and second heavyweight championship in 1987, after a 10-year hiatus, Foreman returned to boxing at the age of 38. His return was met with skepticism, as most people believed that a fighter in his late 30s would not be able to compete at the highest level of the sport. However, Foreman proved the doubters wrong, showing that his power and skill were still intact. By 1994, at the age of 45, Foreman achieved one of the greatest comebacks in boxing history. In a fight against the reigning champion, Michael Moorer, Foreman stunned the world by knocking out Moorer in the 10th round to become the oldest heavyweight champion in history. This victory cemented his legacy as one of the greatest fighters of all time. Foreman's win over Moorer was an emotional moment in boxing history, as it defied both logic and expectation. Achievements and legacy. Throughout his career, George Foreman achieved numerous milestones and accolades that helped solidify his place among boxing's elite. World heavyweight champion twice. Foreman won the world heavyweight title twice. First in 1973 and again in 1994, making him the oldest man to ever win the title. Olympic gold medal. Foreman's win in the 1968 Olympics was a historic achievement that made him one of the most recognized amateur boxers of his generation. Two-time world champion, he was the first boxer in history to regain the heavyweight title after a 20-year gap between reigns. Impressive record. Foreman retired with a professional boxing record of 76 wins, 68 by knockout and 5 losses. His knockout power was legendary, and many of his victories came via early stoppages, demonstrating his dominance in the ring. Popularization of the George Foreman grill. Outside of boxing, Foreman became a successful businessman, particularly through his endorsement of the George Foreman grill, which became a household name in the 1990s. Life after boxing. After retiring for the second time in 1997, George Foreman focused on his family, business ventures, and his faith. He used his fame and fortune to help others, becoming a philanthropist and engaging in various charitable causes. Foreman also found success as a commentator for boxing matches, sharing his insights on the sport and providing commentary during major events. In addition to his business success with the grill, Foreman became an influential figure in promoting health and fitness, encouraging people to make positive changes in their lives. His personal story, from a troubled youth to an Olympic gold medalist, world champion, and successful entrepreneur, has served as an inspiration to many.